Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of Assassin 4. Sorry we had to take a little hiatus, but the boys are back and we got a special guest with us today. Shout out to our boy Q, man. I know y'all seen him before on a couple of episodes. He's back with us on the pod today. What's good with you, man? How's everything going? What's up? What's new with you, man?
Staying busy, brother. Working with, training, working with a bunch of level of kids across the different skill levels. So that's it, brother. Just staying busy.
So
All right, that's good.
Bull City in the house, watch your mouth.
Talk to him, let him know.
Yeah, man. But of course, we with the crew today. I got my boy D, Dr. Esquire Day. What's going on with you, man?
Not much, man. What's up with y'all?
Everything chilling, everything cool. Then I got my boy T in this joint from Charlotte. What's good with you, man?
Not much, bro. Not much at all, bro. Making it rain threes or dollar bills, it don't matter, bro.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Nigga starting early, bro.
And then of course we got 910's finest, my boy BT. What's good with you?
I'm chilling, man. Hope everybody good. Had a good day.
Yeah, man. Today's been straight, man. I'm just over here watching these hoops and everything. This Denver Milwaukee game look like some bump right now, for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Good little matchup going on. But yeah, man, since we got our boy Q on here, the first thing I definitely want to talk about is something that me and Q kind of had a side conversation before earlier this year. He actually saw a clip of us when we was talking about, how like high school, like younger basketball players, like that basketball IQ is just not the same how it was back in the day. And then it's like wasted movements. It's over dribbling. It's like they can't call them into contesting shots and everything. So our boy, he's one of the best trainers that we know out here in the game right now. I know he probably has something to say about that. So I'm gonna give you your time, Q, about that, man. Like, what's going on out there in these facilities? What's going on with the basketball IQ happening in our American youth and basketball, man?
Yes, I'll start with the dribbling first. A lot of these kids are getting caught up in what they see on social media. They see a lot of these other pro level players or these YouTube basketball players. They doing 17 dribbles before they score the ball, and they like, oh, that look cool. Well, maybe I can try it. But then they'll try it, but then they'll apply it in the wrong setting. Like, it's cool if you want to get better at ball handling, but you got to understand that those 17 dribbles are wasted. You need to know how to get better with your ball handling and then apply it to your game. Because I've seen coaches allow kids to do this in games and not correct it, and I've also seen good coaches get on kids as soon as they do it in a game, and it's like, all right, cool, guess what? You did that, you hurt your team, now that's a turnover, and somebody stole the ball from you, and you didn't get back on defense, get out my game. Like,
Yep.
you gotta stop the kids from doing it now rather than glorifying it and just like, oh, I just gotta keep going over and over again until I can break them off the dribble and then go to the basket. Like, no, like you hurting your team by doing that. So the biggest thing when I see it happen, I'll go tell the coach or kid or whoever asks me for my opinion. I'll say, you got to learn how to minimize your dribbling and maximize your efficiency on the court. You can take 2 or 3 dribbles and then get off the ball, or take 2 or 3 dribbles and get to the basket. Like, you don't need a bunch of dribbles. It's not necessary. So that's just my part on the dribbling piece.
I mean, that sounds like, back in the day, because I'm trying to just make a comparison here, to how, like, when you used to, like, shoot, like, 30-foot threes and you get taken out the game right away. It's kind of like how, like, you just over dribble and not move the ball, like, just, have the ball be stuck, if you will. And
Correct.
that could be something, that kids get in the habit of doing. And, that's grounds to definitely be taken out of the game, because the ball is like, in order for the offense to be executed well or to have
Efficient.
enough success, at least at the high school level, the ball needs to move around.
Correct.
So it's not everybody's Luka or James Harden where you can dribble 20 times and then pull up and then hit a step back three. You know, and that doesn't win you a championship anyway. You know, it's kind of like the same thing.
But like even to that thing, like when I tell kids that, like at the high school level, or even if I see it in a younger age limit, I'll tell them like, hey, like think about this on both aspects of it. If you're doing all the dribbling, what do you think your teammate is doing?
Standing
They're
around.
sitting there watching you. And then number two, you're hurting your offense. Like you could get off the ball, go set a down screen for somebody else to come off and shoot, or you can set a hammer screen for somebody to flare out in the corner and get a shot off, or you can get off the ball, screen someone, and then backdoor cut yourself to get to a layup. Like it's so much more actions you got to learn how to do outside of just dribble, get to the Baja or shoot it off of 17 dribbles. Like, and also a lot of things that people don't realize is kids only do that because of the other things they do not know too. So they're doing it in a compensation. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to kids about simple basketball terms that they do not know. Like simple, they don't know it. Like I know high school kids at the high level that do not know what DHO means. It's a dribble handoff option.
Until you talked about that one episode too, where it's like kids don't even know like the simplest of like blah, blah, like it's like, oh man, and you can see it, you can see it like it's so bad. It's oh man.
Or I'll use the dribbling. I'll keep using that. Like
there
was a particular kid that I was working with, and I told him I was like, I've been hearing things, and I went to go see you play. You do have the ball in your hand a lot, and then they play out of that side pick and roll. I said, if he hedges and they blitz you, what do you do next? And he didn't know what hedge or blitz meant. And this is a high school junior who is got some college offers.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
See what I mean?
Who's to blame for that? The coaches, the parents, the trainers?
The coach. I think the
trainers.
Coach
it starts with the trainers first. Well, it starts with the trainers first, because a lot of times a kid is going to listen to his trainer for versus his coach these days. And Q, you can probably speak to that. Because the trainers
boys
feed the kids what they want to hear.
My kids know terminology.
Yeah, they should. I bet.
Yeah.
But you know, these kids and these parents might not know better, and they believe anything that these trainers tell them to do. Because, like, man, I remember when I had a trainer in high school, we didn't do none of that extra fancy shit. It was basic fundamentals and terminology, like you said.
Yeah.
You can't master the basics or play and structure. You're not gonna make it at the next level, because all that, whatever these kids be doing, it's cool. You might be able to get over in high school. You might just be a little bit more athletic than some kids or whatever. But when you get to the next level, everybody's pretty much athletic, bro.
Facts.
And like to the original point, like this conversation started because really my best friend has a son that's like middle school, high school, and he, they were just popping off and stuff, talking about his team could have beat our team and all that. And I'm like, the stuff that you're doing, it wasn't that we couldn't do it. We weren't allowed to do it. We did some of the crazy stuff these kids do.
Exactly.
Our team was so deep, we legit had a 10, 12 deep roster, like legit. Dudes could start. We had a lot of talent on the squad that I had. So legit, you did some dumb shit. You're not guaranteed to come back in the game.
Out.
Yeah, you will sit the rest of the game. Like, it's not the fact that we couldn't do some of the things that you see these kids do today. We weren't allowed to do it within the structure of the offense that we ran. Now you see kids, all they know how to do is a little simple high ball screen and hunt mismatches. But when they actually have to play in structure, they can't do it. When they actually have to run 7 different variations of the same play, they can't do it.
Yeah.
When they actually have to have multiple coverages of defense. Hell, there's like 7 ways you can guard pick and roll. A lot of these kids don't even know that. They might list 2, 3. There's really 7 ways you can guard a pick and roll.
But T, to be honest with you with that though, even with the pick and roll situation, I try to talk before I even get on the court with a kid. I like to talk to them and see what they know first, right?
Right.
So in that pick and roll situation we talk about, let's just say if it's a high pick and roll, I always ask them, I'm like, all right, so what's your second read? You think go straight to the basket is your first, or you're not reading the body language of your defender. Is he backpedaling back? Is he pressing up on you? So what do you do in that scenario? If he backpedals back and his hand is down, obviously we take that shot.
Yeah.
But if he's on your hip and he's with you all the way, what's next? What do? Do you still try to finish against 2 or 3 people? Or do you understand how to draw somebody in and get off the ball and go relocate somewhere else? They can't even tell you that at the 8th grade, 9th grade, and some 10th grade levels. Because they don't have the basic terminology. They don't have the IQ to study the game either. And I'm very big on that. Like, you'd be surprised if I gave you a percentage number of how many kids do not watch film. They don't like.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, it's insane. Like, but they can tell you about Austin Reeves had 45 last night, but you watched the highlights, but you didn't watch the game. You didn't tell me how he scored those 40 plus points. Or better yet, did you watch his ball movement? Did you see what he did? He also had 8 assists that game. How did he get 8 assists? Because he had a hot hand. He saw them pinch in, so he kicked out. Simple stuff. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, it's just like, I remember when I first started coaching, when I was coaching, we literally had 7 variations of literally the same set, but there were so many different things you could do out of it. It was a high ball screen, but you could also, timing is important. A lot of these guys don't understand timing, when to set those off-ball actions and screens to get guys open, how to sell a certain action to get to the main action. Sometimes you got to set up a fake action to see how the defense reacts, and then you hit it with the counter.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids can't do that. It's kind of like it's like in football. It's like a play action pass. You got to draw the defense in and hit him over the top. It's the same thing in basketball. Sometimes you got to give him one action, see how the defense moves, and then you hit him with something else on the back end. It's the same thing, same concept. That's why, I didn't know this, but it was some documentary somewhere I seen where Spoelstra. Matter of fact, they were talking about it. LeBron and JJ Redick were talking about how Eric Spoelstra went to Oregon to see Chip Kelly's offense and the spread offense, kind of how it can incorporate into basketball. And the next year when the Heat played Oklahoma City, they went small and kind of went to basically a spread offense, the basketball version of it.
Yeah.
These are things that I see, and this is why I couldn't coach. And with the fact that I moved to a new city, but also I had to dumb down what I was teaching to the point where it just wasn't. It was hard for me to really get the team I had to really do what I wanted to do. I had to dumb so much things down from the time I started first coaching, which was in 2009 to by the time it was 2016, I completely had to dumb down everything. It was literally just high ball screen, pass and cut, and that was literally the offense. So a high ball screen, pass and cut. That's all they could do. This is AAU basketball now. This is supposed to be the high level, top of the top, and they really can't do much structure.
I'm glad you brought that up too. AAU is killing them as well.
Yeah.
Because when they play AAU, every time I go watch one of my kids that I work with playing AAU, I literally cringe. I stopped going to their games. I only go to their games when they play school ball because that's more of a structured setting. When I go watch them play in AAU, it's the same shit every time. They start the game off with a diamond press or a 2-2-1 or a 1-2-2, and then when they get the ball on offense, it's 5 out or it's 4 out and 1 in, and that's it. It is so not realistic basketball to the point where I'm like, this is hurting the kids. What is diamond pressing or full court pressing from the beginning of the game teaching them what to do? You're just trying to get a big lead early, or or if you're playing against a team that's super competitive, they're more athletic. They're just gonna outrun you every time. They're gonna break your press and just take off and go. It's not helping the kids. They don't know how to open up their hips. They don't know how to slide and turn on defense. They don't know how to ask for the back man to help to be your backside help. They don't know how to talk and communicate. And then teaching kids to like play 2-3 zone or a 3-2 or 1-3-1 zone, like in a half court setting. I'm like, bro, like you're not teaching kids how to play defense. You're just telling them like, yeah, we're gonna put you in a spot. You got somebody there on your left, somebody there on your right. Y'all work together. But if they don't even know how to communicate when it's just them by themselves and knowing how to work with their own body, how you gonna tell them to work with somebody else's body?
You know, it's interesting you mentioned zone. They don't know on the Pacific side of the court, you got the low man, high man. They don't know when to pass the dude off to the low man.
Yeah, they don't even trap. They don't even trap it. They don't even trap it in the zone no more. Nope. They don't even like. I was like that. Like when I was playing as a kid, that was really one of the first things they taught us when we was in 2-3. It was like at specific spots. Yeah, you lock in that because you're going to trap. Like especially in that corner. Oh yeah, we trying to get that ball.
Trap corners. Like trap corners.
Yep.
All right. They can't even attack a zone. Like
don't even get
high post. The high-low action is always going to be there in the zone, bro. The defense is always going to collapse in the ball.
So that's another thing. I'm glad you said that. So like during the winter, I coach like a high school team, and there's this specific school they're known for playing 2-3 zone the whole time, and I literally game prepped for him. I was like, if he plays 2-3 zone on me the whole time, I'm going to go high-low. I'm gonna put my stretch 4 and my 3 at the high. And then my low man is going to be my guy as my 4 or 5. So if you couldn't stop it. So if you leave my elbow person open, he's knocking that down. If you press up on him, it's a dump down pass to my 4 or 5. He's got his man sealed. We're going straight up. So what they did was they left my elbow person open, and he scored 16 in the first quarter. So, and then the second quarter, the other coach made a small adjustment, and then they started to press up. I'm like, okay, well, dump down. Mm-hmm. So then my big man had 11 points in 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. So like he's just scoring at will. And then I made it where you couldn't guard it. So then they started try to double up on the big man, and then also not leave my shooter open on the elbow. So then I had a guy running baseline to baseline as my shooter. So like if you double the big, we're kicking out, running to the corner. You double my elbow person, he's gonna kick out to the other guy on the wing.
Yep.
So pick your poison at that point. Like, how you want me to kill you? What do you want me to do? But like simple stuff like that, coaches don't understand. Like if you just teach a kid, oh, we're gonna play 2-3 zone the whole time. There are smart people who know how to beat stuff like this. And if you can't make adjustments and teach your kids how to make adjustments during the game, it's over.
Yeah. So you pretty much found their blind spots.
Oh, easy. And see, like that's why I'm very big on with my player development stuff is I tell a kid, like, I'm gonna teach you what you need to know, but I'm gonna teach you in different variations too. Like I can teach you one step, but that one step is going to lead to other ripple effect of things. So
yeah, man. Another thing I see is a lot of kids don't understand help coverages, bro. Even when you're in a man, you're still zoning up.
Yeah,
like they don't understand what 2 passes away mean, what it means to be 1 pass away and deny position. Even like in 3/4 court man or full court man, you're still rotating. It's the same principles. Like, you know, we had full court man, 3/4 court man, half court.
Pick up at half.
Slightly outside. Outside 3-point line. Then, of course, if teams can't shoot, we're not going out there. Pack the lane in inside 3-point line. Like, there's so many different coverages. Like, people think basketball is a real simple game, but it's really complex when you really get into the meat and potatoes of it. But a lot of kids, like you said, their IQ is just not there because they think that they can shoot from 25, 30 feet and they can do a bunch of dribbling, that they're quote unquote more skilled. But if you can't, basketball IQ is a skill, in my opinion.
It is a skill.
Yeah.
100% a skill. And it's a skill that can be enhanced depending on the effort you put into the game. Are you putting the time in? That can be studying film. It could be picking somebody else's brain, like getting knowledge from them. Like, those are all forms of investing in yourself and investing in making your IQ better. I tell kids that all the time. I tell college kids this all the time. I'm like, just because you got here, we not done. Like, we got more to do. Like, it's not now, okay, you got here. Thank you, coach. Nah, like now we're gonna up the reps. We're gonna figure out what it's gonna take for you to be in consistent rotation. We're gonna figure out what it's gonna take for you to get to the next level if you have that aspiration. But the work don't stop. It should never stop.
I'll give you a prime example. When I was like in middle school and high school in Greensboro, there were two teams they had like this like holiday tournament. It was the same two teams that was always going to be in the championship game. It was Dudley. They had dudes like Will Graves.
Yeah, Will.
And shit. And it was Greensboro Day.
Yep.
I really had way more talent in Flash, but Greensboro Day, we had better coaches. And we had higher basketball IQ. We always beat Dudley. It didn't matter who they had. They had dudes go to Cincinnati, USC. It didn't matter. Always found a way to beat Dudley. Why? Yeah. Because you can have all the flash and do all that stuff, but when it's time to really, when the game gets real tight and you actually have to think the game, the team that has the higher basketball IQ is going to win. It's the same situation when it was a high school in High Point called Wesleyan Christian Academy. They had Theo Pinson. They had another dude that went to Florida State. They had Harry Giles, and they could not beat Greensboro Day in the state championship game because coaching in basketball, you can have all the talent and all the flash and stuff, but when it comes time to have the IQ and the substance, it's going to win more often than not.
That's bad.
I mean, Wesleyan used to have some stacked teams. They had Randolph Childress' son, Brandon Childress, Theo,
Brandon
was on the same high school team. Yeah, Brandon was a problem.
Brandon was nice.
He was a problem, bro. You know what I'm saying? They were loaded, bro. Like that's a team that's like should be dashing right. You got ACC doing up and down the roster, and that got his name that went to Florida State. I think his name's like Monte Brandon. He started at Florida, so I don't know if he finished, but I mean this team was stacked, bro. And they always lost in the championship game. And Keith Gatlin's a good coach. And Keith Gatlin's he was a good coach, bro.
Like, yeah, I heard good things about him too. I mean, I was hearing about him when I was in Durham, so.
Yeah, like he played at the University of Maryland, Dre. Like he was on that squad.
Yeah. So sharp.
I know Keith. He used to coach the girls team at Greensboro Day, and I used to see him around, so he was a cool dude. But for some reason, Coach Johnson always had his number when it was time to really draw up some shit or really, win some games. It is what it is, man. When
that board come out, that's when you really start knowing who can coach. That's when it get different. Yeah. Them adjustments, they're just making simple adjustments, not like it only have to be halftime adjustments. Can you draw up after timeout play? Simple stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Those be the guys like, they might not even have a super talented team, but they got a good guy who can coach.
Yeah.
Shit, adjustments you made like when someone's at the free throw line.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. That's a fact. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, man. Like another reason why we was having this conversation, because a lot of times in the chat, like we just be talking about like what's going on over on the other side of the world with like all these countries and teams coming up. Because I don't know if you got a chance to watch the new doc, the Court of Gold doc with like Team USA, Serbia, France, and all them.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a good doc, man. But it was just like, damn, we pretty much sent out like damn near all the A guys we got from American and NBA, and we still had like 2 close games at the end of that joint. And it's like Bron, Steph, and KD, they only getting up there in A. So at some point we got like turn it over to the new cast. So I'm like, but when you think about going up against a pissed off Wemby in 28, and like Joker still be around, Shea still going to be around, I'm just thinking like we got to catch up with this development like we used to back in the day, because like to me it seems like over in Europe and all the other countries, they kind of keeping that foundation, keeping it simple, trying to actually teach players how about these high basketball IQ plays.
Well, also too, a lot of people don't realize, but in Europe they turn pro at 14.
Yeah. Like Luka's been a pro since he's been 15.
Like you can turn pro at 14, in Europe, and then also they can set the structure of their schedule too. Like the kids can be homeschooled and turn pro, or depending on where you are, you can be a pro and still go to regular school every day over there. It's complete, like their freedom, their scheduling is next level. Like it's next level. And they don't even have like top of the line facilities or anything. It's just
I know
they'll get in there and maximize their time.
Mm-hmm.
They're not about to go in there and do an hour and 30-minute dribbling session. No, they're gonna go in there. We're gonna do 10 minutes dribbling. We're gonna do 10 minutes free throws. We're gonna do 10 minutes. Like they're using that time and they getting right to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right to it. Like
I was going to add your point. It's more about this physical training. BT, remember that video I sent you about the Super Bowl? Like Eagles, their functional strength.
Mm-hmm.
All this crazy training. You don't need to do all that crazy stuff, right? You just need the basics. Can you squat? Can you deadlift? Can you do push-ups? Can you have functional strength? All this extra stuff, it's cool, but it's really not necessary, bro. And a lot of basketball trainers, but a lot of personal trainers be setting up athletes for failure too, bro. Doing all this extra shit, bro. Over there in Europe, bro, they stick
For
to
that it's all for that IG content. It's all for them likes, man.
I say it's all for aesthetics. It's aesthetics, man. That's all it is. Make the workout look good.
Point like how they don't have much, but they have enough. You know what I'm saying? Like if you just have, you can understand the basic, especially like functional strength. Like there's a difference between physical strength and functional strength.
Yeah.
When you gotta do those core lists. If you can do your core list, you're gonna have functional strength because it's all about athleticism, man. And Q, anybody, BT, anybody's playing a sport, all your power literally comes from your glutes and your hips. All your athleticism comes from your hips and your glutes. It's as simple as that.
Like, and
anything else is just icing on the cake.
Also, with you're talking about as far as their weight, the time, and what they should be doing in the weight room, they're being led wrong, too. Like right now in Georgia, and I'm pretty sure in other states, but like right now is state playoff time, and we should be wrapping up soon. Like championships is in the next week or so. So a lot of schools are they're beginning their off-season training. Like I went to a high school today and I was talking to a coach and he was telling me what his training regimen is for the kids, and it was very structured. But also I talked to another coach yesterday and his is not structured. He's like, we should be doing all heavy upper body lifting this off season. They should be doing a lot of pull-ups. We want to make them physically stronger up top so that they know how to use their shoulders when they're boxing out. And I pulled him to the side. I was like, Coach, I understand. Like, you struggled with rebounding. That's what it was. They struggled with rebounding and not knowing how to put their bodies in the right position. So in his mind, he was thinking if they get upper body strong, which
oh my God.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Oh my God, dog.
If any day you hindering them with doing it. Exactly. So you hindering them. So now they're gonna be worse.
No, listen, this is what I told him. I was like, look, like I don't agree with what you told. I didn't want to make him look bad in front of his whole team.
Right.
But I pulled him to the side afterwards. I was like, hey, like, I understand you want to help them with this area, but you need to do this instead. Like, these are the workouts you should be doing if you want to see growth in said area. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Sometimes a lot of these guys, head coaches of these high school programs, don't have the right infrastructure. So you kind of got to go in, especially if you have a rapport with them, you got to let them know, like, this is what you should do. But the problem is some of these guys don't feel like they can be talked to or will take your advice unless they see like your resume or something. It shows that you know what you're talking about. Because I've had a high school coach one time turned down my advice, didn't listen to what I said, heard of the things and people that I was working with, and then called me out of the blue to come back to come work with his kids. I definitely did not. Because you trying to spin the block and ask for me to help you when I was trying to help you the first go around. Like they get this ego thing of like, oh, I can do it by myself.
Like they stuck in their ways. That's what
like,
it is. Yeah.
They're stuck in their ways. I'm like, no, like it's okay to ask for help.
Exactly.
And if somebody wants to offer your help, maybe you should just take the time to just listen to it rather than just, oh, I'm fine, no thanks anyway. Like now you're hindering your program. Now, I did not work with him. I did work with his kids though. Because I'll never not. If a kid want to work with me, he could have money or not have money. I'm gonna figure out a way to work with him. I mean, if you don't got the money right away, I've done stuff for free before and then got paid on the back end, or do it for free and I get blessed down the road, which is fine with me. Like I don't be pressed over the money. The money gonna always find people who are passionate about what they do. So my mother told me that years ago. She said, there are going to be opportunities where you can make your money. There'll be times when you have to do some things for free, but God gonna bless you. So put yourself in a position to like be helpful, and it'll all work out.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, man, that's my piece for now.
These coaches, a lot of coaches definitely, like I said, they lack infrastructure and the egos. They're not open to new things. They think they know everything. They don't. Where like, yeah, upper body shape is important for rebounding, but rebound really all lower body shape, like you said, body positioning. But you gotta have strong legs so you don't get knocked off your spot.
Correct.
Rebounding really, you just gotta have a strong foundation. So that's just crazy to me, but that's not surprising because like I used to train a couple kids when I was in Greensboro, and like you said, coaches, but yeah, they want their kid work on this and do this, and then you'd be like, actually, they need to work on this. They get taken aback and whatever, but like I said, their ego gets hurt, and they're not open to adapting. Those are coaches that really don't get anywhere. The coaches that get far are the ones that adapt their system, like to their team. Like, my first year of high school, we did things a certain way, but then the next year we were way more athletic, and just had so many athletes. We literally just pushed the ball on the floor. I mean, we're in a secondary break. We can have our like 6-7 options on a secondary break, and then if we need to, we need to get structured. But really, he just changed up our whole style of play just to accommodate the team that we had. Not every team can do that.
And it's crazy, T. I had to do the same thing just with my own little kids. I was like, because you try to teach them a certain way, but eventually you just got to look at what you see on the floor and be like, okay, let's switch it up real quick. Like I changed the ball handler, make sure my most athletic kids were out on the break and stuff like that. Next thing you know, we was looking better, we taking off. But it's like you said, it's just those simple things. Like college basketball, you pretty much have almost a new team every year now. Like you try to fit your system to a certain way because you're used to it, but sometimes you're gonna have to switch that thing up because you don't have that like back down center you used to have in like the prior 5 years. Now you got like a pick and pop center, so you got to switch that thing up a little bit to accommodate what you have on the floor.
Yeah.
I think now college basketball too, like the lack of like big name coaches, you see more coaches doing that because back in the day, Dean Smith was going to run that four corners offense.
Mm-hmm.
They said the only thing that held Michael Jordan back was Dean Smith. Syracuse ain't gonna run that 2-3 zone. Didn't matter. Vice versa. Like now I feel like
that 1-2-2. They gonna press shit out of you the whole time.
Yeah.
But nowadays you got more coaches willing to adapt to the personnel of the team, and also just with the turnover in college basketball, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But T, also like I said, this year was I coached a high school team this year, right? So before the season even started, I got some calls from my parents that was like, all right, well, we know you're a great trainer, but can you coach? And I kind of like, I'm one of them type of people too. Like, I'm gonna show you. I ain't gonna say much about it, but I'm gonna show you. Mm-hmm. So they told me what kids would be trying out. I did my evaluations. I picked who I needed to pick. They was like, all right, well, we also got a JV team Would you want to coach them too? I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I got a little bit more freedom during the winter. Of course, I can do 2 teams. Cool. So together I had 28 kids on 2 teams, right? Some parents were saying like at best the because it was a freshman team and a JV team. The one of the parents was like, well, the boys struggled in middle school. At best, they play 17 games on a freshman team, which is a dumb number. It was like at best the 17 games, they'll probably go like 5-12 or something like that. I said, I'm not losing 12 games. I said, I don't know what y'all do and where y'all come from, but I don't do losing. Period. I said, we may lose some games, but there will not be 12 losses. So then the JV parents, they was like, well, last year the boys on the freshman team, they played 18 games for JV. They said, well, they went 9-9, so we're probably expecting another 9-9 or an 8-10 season. And I looked at that parent and I was like, you're not losing that many. So I went in, and the number one question on the little parent meeting thing when I did it was like, what type of system do you run? And I hate that so much, because you cannot run unless your name is Luka or James Harden. Then there's no such thing as a freaking system. They are the system.
Mm-hmm.
With kids, same situation. They are the system. I gotta look at them, see what they do well, and then I build from there.
Yeah.
Like, I got this kid who's a shooter. I got this kid who's a rebounder. I got this kid who's a great passer. I got these 2 kids that know how to run and transition. All right, cool. So I'm going to create my plays based off their player tendencies and what they do well. But the parents for the life of me could not understand, how does this coach not have a system that he runs? I do not run a system. I look at what I have first, and I build my system from there. So I said all that to say, when the season ended about 3 weeks ago, the freshman kids went the 17 games, they went 14-3. And then the JV kids went 16-2.
Yeah.
So asking me, do I know how to coach, is crazy.
Hey, they know they coach now. They know what it is now.
This is why I did it though. I was like, number one, now see, Dave, coming from where we come from, like we gonna accept the challenge.
Yeah.
Like this is what
Absolutely.
we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, bet, cool. If I do well with this is gonna open up the door for me to get these kids reeled in. Now I'm training them consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, money flow.
The money flows.
So season went well. The day after it, oh, when can we start training? Oh, when will you be back in the gym? Like the day after the season ended. So like, kids got to understand too, like when you put the right things in place for them, they will be successful. If you don't have good structure, that's when all that 17 dribbles come into play. Like it's gonna be iso ball. It's gonna be me and my friend. We're gonna play together. We only gonna look for each other to shoot.
And kids are gonna start doing what the fuck they want because the system is not working. Like after a few games, like you see, like okay, if it's not working, kids stop caring. You know, and the coach is not able to, get get his voice heard because it's not working. So kids just start doing what they want to do, or they just revert back to bad habits.
And kids don't, and I've learned this too recently from this year of coaching. Kids don't. These new kids, they don't listen to coaches who have never played.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't listen to kids. They don't listen to coaches who can't show them what they want them to do. Like if I'm talking to a kid and it's like, yo, if the play is like, we'll go back to the pick and roll. If it's a pick and roll and I'm trying to tell my kid on that pick and roll, look for this pocket to make that pass.
Yeah.
It's a tight little window, but you got to hit it right there. If you can't show that kid how to do it, he is not about to listen to you, or she is not about to listen to you. So luckily with me, I practice what I preach. If I'm going to show you the pocket, if I'm going to tell you the pocket, I'm going to show you where the pocket is. And if that pocket closed, next read, next read. Like these new kids, they like us, our age. A coach tell us something, they 9 times out of 10 they couldn't show us, but we would listen to them and respect them because our parents told us to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the kids, their parents is our age, so it's different.
Yes.
Okay. They don't understand. When you doing that, like you do that pocket pass, you gotta have that moment of hesitation, like you said, make that read.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, oh, it's not there.
Say,
I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here.
You have a split second, so you really have like just a matter of like split seconds to read the defense, like when you're on like when you're facilitating, and to like that hole will open up for maybe like half a second.
Yeah.
So and then you gotta like pause. You gotta fit it in there correctly.
Yeah, I got you.
Come on.
I know what you mean.
Oh,
yeah.
But also, like with that, when I show them stuff, I had to understand too. I'm like, I gotta explain it to them in a way that they don't think I'm showing off or being braggadocious.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I'm gonna show it to you, but also I tell them, watch my pace. Watch how I am with the ball. I'm not letting nobody speed me up. I'm not letting nobody slow me down. I'm going to play at the pace I want to play at. But a lot of these kids, it's like, oh, get the ball, take off and go. Mm-hmm. No.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hell no. Stop that. I had a kid like that this year. He was initially just, I'm like, hell no, slow that shit down. Bring it back. Start over. And with situations like that, if you don't correct it in a practice or at the beginning of a season, they're going to continuously just keep doing that shit over and over again.
Yeah.
Which can lead to bad habits of turnovers or bad possessions. But if you teach them and show them, all right, pace is what is important, not speed. Mm-hmm. Understand tempo. All right, if it's a pick and roll and if the spot is open, take it and go. Yep. If it's a drop coverage where the big drops on there, oh, so now what do you do now? So now we can slow it down a little bit, right? Or you can speed it up. You got to watch how the big is guarding you in that pick and roll. If the guard drops under and he doesn't jump over the screen, you got a different read now. Like you got to see what's going on.
Yeah.
They just thought one dimensional, get the ball, just take off and go. I'm like, no.
Mm-mm. Hey, I think I know why that happens. I think I know why that happens because like a lot of these kids like they'll watch highlights on YouTube and obviously like on YouTube because like of shorts and things like that, like highlight reels, it's fast. It's faster. Sometimes it's faster than what it actually is like or how it happened in real life. So they feel like sometimes like they're rushing without even knowing that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
and Q and Dre, I don't know if y'all used to do this, but when I coach, I used to spend almost half our practice sometimes on what I used to call game scenarios. Okay, we're down 5. We got 90 seconds left. We only have one timeout. This is team on offense. This team on defense. You're down. Figure it out. Can you win the game? You got 90 seconds. And like this is the bonus situation. This is because a lot of times and some of the parents are like, why do you do this instead of actually running plays? I'm like, because damn, the plays, like if the game is tight, sometimes you just gotta make a play.
Yeah.
You gotta play in no situation, no scenarios, know when to call your timeouts, when to foul, when to do certain things. Because you can run all the sets you want to, but when you get in those real tight situations, a lot of it becomes instinct. If you don't practice this stuff,
correct.
And it doesn't become instinctual, you're gonna overthink it. And then, like I said, when your first read's out there, you're gonna panic, and guys will start doing whatever after their first read's there or the second read's out there.
Yeah, when you
get in all the time.
When you get in them trenches, that's when you know who can really hoop and when can't.
Yeah,
because sometimes at the end of a game, I'm like, yo, like we got sets, we can run them, or I'm gonna just let y'all play ball. I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna coach y'all. But now y'all got to just go out there and go hoop. Like, y'all trying to hoop or y'all going to let them just run y'all over? And 9 times out of 10, they lock in. Because they know when I talk like that, they know what's up. Like, let's go. Run this shit. Run this shit up right now. Let's go.
I
Rock
know
it.
what to do.
Like that's the same way when they be looking for the timeout because they've been fucking out. I was like, no, y'all gonna fix this shit.
Play through
Yeah,
this shit.
Fuck that timeout. Fuck that timeout.
exactly. Like, because sometimes you gotta learn how to. That's a time to teach them how to learn how to like stop or run. Because I'm not gonna be able. Because I might like T described earlier. I might be in a situation where I just can't call a timeout because I might need that joint later down the line.
Facts.
So if a team is on like 8-0 run, you need to learn how to like look. If we going too fast and we commit a turn, I need to slow this bitch down so we can like, all right, let's assess the situation. Like, let's leave some clock and then let's try to go another route on how we going to attack the defense. But you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. You're just going to keep effing up like that. So it's got to be that instinct got to kick in at some point. It's going to be like, because I could teach you the skills, I could teach you the sets, I could teach you the foundation and everything. But at the end of the game, like you said, if we in the 2 minute on the clock, fourth quarter, it's tied 66-66. And especially if you're not in a league that has a shot clock. I don't know in this area we have a shot clock, but some leagues in high school you don't. So it's like, all right, in 2 minutes, you literally might only have like 2 possessions left out this whole game, depending how you want to run it. So like that's when you really gotta be like, all right, like we gotta get this good shot.
Correct.
And that's why it's so important for your point guard or your backcourt players to be an extension of the coach. And that's not always the case. Especially like when you're in those positions where the coach is like, well, play through this. Like find a way to stop the run, find a way to get an easy basket. You need to be able to have the players to do that.
Or at least have somebody on the court that's talking that knows your knowledge on the court. Because sometimes your extension might not be the point guard, it might not be the backcourt. But if at least you have somebody that can talk on the court and get everything together, then you will be okay.
Yeah. Real quick, I don't know if y'all been watching it, like why my eyes been shifting over to the side.
Yeah.
Steph scored 56.
Oh, word.
Good.
What?
Yeah, boy been getting busy, son.
He scored 56 and he hit 12 or 19 from 3 and 12 for 12 from the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy because Powell had like 24 and a half.
Like 56.
Damn.
And they was just talking about this being the anniversary when he hit that shot at OKC. God damn.
Yeah, Paolo got 41. Paolo finished with 41.
Yeah, he had like 24 at halftime, and it was like a tie game at half. So
Yeah.
Denver game.
I know he's like struggling a little bit with injuries and stuff. If he gets back full-time healthy, boy.
He was a problem at the beginning of the season before he got hurt. Like, T agenda, your agenda was thriving. Like, Atlanta was like top 3 in the standings and everything. So, like, he was getting busy.
Orlando needs another guard, though. That's what they're missing. They need a guard that can score.
Yeah, man. Golden State might make it to that 6 seed, dog.
You think so?
They only like
a game or two out of that joint.
One game behind right now.
Hey man, Lakers near the 3 seed too. You know what Adam Silver wants?
Shit, I want that shit. What you mean?
You want Warriors? You want Warriors Lakers?
Yep.
You know, BT don't duck no smoke. No, he good for it.
Damn.
But she'll soon be speaking on NBA because this is kind of one of the big topics right now, and I know especially since we got Q back on the show. Is Jason Tatum really one of the most underappreciated superstars we ever seen in this league? And I know we joking him, but we know he has talent. We know the talent is there. We know he has some great moments, but it just seems like oh man, it just seems like
too, bro. I promise I'll ask him that question.
No, because it's like y'all know how I feel about how he did in the Olympics, but still, this is like one of the first time I've seen somebody come off a championship, come off an Olympic gold, again, but it just doesn't seem like him or even the whole Celtics team is just not even getting now. So I just want to know, like, Q and everybody else's thoughts, like, about how Jason Tatum feels about being underappreciated.
I'll look at it this way. So he knows what it takes to get to the big game. He knows what it takes to get to the series, the finals, right? So now you know what it takes to get there. So now this is the second half of the season. He's kind of just catching that stride. But I'm telling y'all, when the playoffs come back into play, it's a whole nother switch. Like the mentality is about to change. Now it's like kill or be killed.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna see another side of them. So I just the things that I know, you're gonna see another side. So it's just a championship thing though too. Like if you look at all the teams that won multiple championships, like they don't always finish top 3 or top 4 or whatever. Or even if they do, right? Like I've got the rankings now. Like, okay, Boston's number 2. Yeah. Like they're doing what they need to get their home court for the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
But what's to say like the number 1 seed team Cleveland is going to be so great when they get to the playoffs? Like they don't have a veteran team. Like none of those guys have been to other than Tristan Thompson. Like nobody has been to the finals or the conference finals. It's just going to become like, do you know how to play in a hostile playoff environment? And the Boston Celtics are going to be like, checkbox, yeah, we've been here, we done this, we know how to play together. And then we also missed Porzingis for a part of the season anyway. So we get one of our guys back, and Drew Holiday's been in and out. So they're going to get their rotation back together, and then they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why Tatum's not appreciated, I give it a couple things. Number one, he's a great guy, but he just doesn't have it. Like his personality is just, and it's not his fault. This is who he is. But also, I blame the media too. Not only for that, for just the Celtics, like all the bashing. The NBA media is the most negative sports media out of any major sport by far. You don't see NFL media on ESPN bashing the product like this, or any of their affiliates on NBC, CBS, Amazon, whatever. They don't bash their product like that. You don't see the hockey guys bash their product the way the NBA media bashes their product, or baseball. Some of the guys are critical of baseball. Rob Manfred's an idiot. We all know that.
Don't get me started. Yeah.
But even baseball doesn't bash their sport as much as NBA media bashes their product. And what's the narrative been lately? It's too many threes. It's this, and then like teams not teams, but fans kind of just dismiss Boston. Yeah, they're a great team, but whatever. That plays a part into it as well, in my opinion. Boston does shoot a lot of threes, but I mean it works. And
but they hit a lot of threes.
Look at their makeup of their team. They have the team that's really equipped to play like this. I mean, when you got guys like Pritchard and Hauser and Cornette coming off the bench, and even some of the guys like that Keita dude that's like a third string center, he comes in and does well. What's the ball dude? I forgot his name. The rookie.
JD.
I know what you're talking about.
Even when he gets in the game, sometimes he makes plays. Like I watched Boston come to Charlotte twice in a back-to-back, and both games were close. But Charlotte tried to make an adjustment, because when you have those like home and home back-to-backs, those are like mini playoff series. So you kind of see what adjustments are made from game one to the next day. And we tried to make the adjustments, and they countered. And Jaylen Brown missed the second game, and Tatum's like, "All right, man, it's time for me to do what I gotta do." Posted people up, play a little bit more in the post. I would like to see him go more. I think the only thing with Tatum and just Boston, they don't hit the threes. They sometimes settle for the threes too much, and they have other ways they can beat you. Tatum can go post, mid range. He can 4-level score. So you want to see maybe a little bit more balanced shot diet. But I mean, the game and the talent is there. The personality maybe is just lacking a little bit. But I mean, we've seen guys with not a lot of personality still be big draws. I mean, Kawhi
has no personality.
Not at all. I don't know. It's like I feel like the media. I feel like it's the media in general. And I'm glad that the NBA is bringing in new TV partners, NBC, Amazon, some new blood, and maybe they can sell and tell us. I feel like the NBA media does a horrible job of telling the story of the season. Why is Detroit not getting more press?
I'm saying.
Bro, this should be the story of the season, bro. A team that last year was 9-49 or 8-49 last year. They really could be a top 4 seed in the East this year. They get no press on ESPN.
It was the same thing with Orlando last year. Orlando barely got any press last year.
And then the Cavs the year before that. So
yeah.
And I felt like, 20 years ago, these would have been bigger stories. Like, when we grew up we all watched the NBA on NBC. We like, this would have been a huge story back then. They would have sold this story to build, this is how you build your stars. I feel like the NBA media has done a disservice the last 10, 15 years of building up that next generation of star. It's been LeBron, and then, Steph and KD. But also you have a lot of young talent who's going to be the future of the league, but you don't build them up because you're still focused. And it's not the player's fault, it's the media's fault, but like you have to sell the story of the game. Like there's a storytelling aspect of it. That's what makes basketball great. These are like the stars. Basketball players are the stars of stars, but you have to build your stars. And the media has done a bad job of that. So I think Tatum's a victim of that as well.
I mean, like with a resume that Tatum has, like 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, first-team All-NBA, has never sat out a postseason. Like every year that he's been in the league, he's gone to the playoffs. So like a guy like that, and the off the court stuff, like, has a great family. He's married to his girlfriend's a R&B, like a fine R&B singer or whatever. The nigga just lame. Like the nigga just got a lame.
Oh my
god! But that's all it just comes down to, bro. Like yo, like I'm just saying, like if Anthony Edwards or somebody like had this same resume, like you have tons of more like commercials, bro. Like they put Jason Tatum in like one of these commercials to promote a movie at some point. I think they did that like with him and Lonzo Ball and some other guys, and then after that they just stopped doing that. But I don't know. I think that's just really what it comes down to. And sorry, and this is just these are the opinions of Esquire. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Can't take niggas nowhere, man.
Water.
But I'm right though. I'm right.
No, I don't. These do not reflect of I am not agreeing with this at all. I will say everybody has their own perspective of every NBA player. So that's my media training coming into play. So
Facts.
T, what's up with your Hornets?
Shit.
They too close to my damn tanks. That's what the fuck going on, man. Stop winning some games, man.
Man, honestly, the last few years we've just had some terrible injury luck. I'm not gonna blame on injuries. There is a lack of leadership with this franchise.
Yeah, I tell you, I will tell you, it's not the coach. I know the coach. He's a good coach.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're trying to set a culture, it takes time. And LaMelo is a great player, and he's still maturing. So I feel like he has to learn what it takes to be a great leader. And we just don't have that veteran to show these young guys how to be professional. Not, even when LaMelo came in, like, who was his vet, man? It was like Gordon Hayward, that my respects, Terry Rozier, who, got
case pending.
Best. Right. Like, who LaMelo's vet was his rookie year? It was actually Malik Monk, man. Malik Monk said he took, trying to show LaMelo. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, Malik Monk.
They have this year they do though, right? He's got Taj Gibson.
Yeah. This year I'm saying like when he was a rookie.
Oh, got it. Yeah,
that was his rookie season when he came in. Like it was a very young team, like Rozier, Gordon Hayward. Monk had been the year. He was starting off his rookie deal, but he had been in the league a few years and he had made mistakes. So, but even now, like Grant Williams,
Seth Curry.
Yeah, and thing is, Grant Williams was when he went down, that was a big loss because Q and anybody, y'all know the game. When you get that glue guy, there's all the dirty work, that set screens, that's physical, that rebounds, that, guards the other team's best player. When you lose that, it really throws off the team, right?
Yeah.
And, Brandon Miller goes down. He was averaging 21 a game. He was playing well before he went down, right? And then we just don't. Right now, we traded some guys away, so we have some younger guys playing, and trying to see basically who's going to still be here next year in Charles Lee's system. So that's what's going on right now. It's disappointing, especially the way they've been blown out. You like to be more competitive. They're actually playing right now in Dallas, and they're actually up by 1 on early third quarter, so they're playing a little bit better tonight. But yeah, it's just sometimes it takes time. Like Detroit last year at this time was like 9-49. They could turn around. I'm not saying that we can beat Detroit, but we don't on paper. We don't have a bad team on paper.
I will say this with Detroit though, a lot of people don't realize like people was like, oh, well, they just got a bunch of draft picks. I was like, well, yeah, they got draft picks, which turned into good quality players, but those players were given a role, and this year they're executing it. Like they know Cade is the guy, right? Yep. And now they're letting Thompson play his role. He's got a role. But I think the problem in the past with the Pistons was they were trying to struggle to figure out like who's our one, who's the go-to. Like I remember they were trying to go to Jaden Ivey as and I was like, you guys can kind of figure that out. But to me, I feel like him and Cade kind of play the same. They're both trying to score, but then this year Cade changed his way of playing. Like
he became more aggressive.
And wasn't it?
Like, I'm gonna get downhill. I'm going to score going downhill, or I'm going to get off the ball. And now you guys have equipped me with shooters on my team now. So now I got Tobias who can shoot that mid-range. I got
Ron Holland.
Yeah, I mean,
I got Beasley too.
I got
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Malik can get in the corner, or Malik can go on the wing. He can shoot the 3 now. So like, you get the right pieces in place, then that'll change a franchise around. Like T with the Hornets, you're right. Like y'all have some decent players. It's just now it's what other additional things can you do to help make that team builder better. What I don't think they need to do, in my opinion, I don't think they need to add any more young players.
Yeah,
need to add vets.
They need a guy who's been in the league like 5 or 6, 7 years now. Like you need a good quality player.
Like. I'm sorry, because Detroit, they had Malik Beasley and Tobias Harris added on to that team.
Yeah.
And we can say we want about Tobias Harris, but he's playing pretty well. He's doing basically what Paul George is doing for a lot cheaper.
And he's been in the NBA since he was 19.
Yeah, Harris just fits this team better than what he was doing in Philly because, Philly, it was like more pressure situation. It was like before Maxey started getting going, he was kind of like that third guy and everything. But now it's like when he went back to Detroit, it's like, hey, look, we just need you to be like T said, a professional. Like we know what your game is, and it's like if you have anything to teach the young guys, the K's and everything, just let them know how to be a pro and everything. Especially when you bring in a coach like JB. I wish Corey's here, but like we talk about JB, like he's one of those coaches that he's really good of elevating a young team and teaching them like how to play within their roles and everything. So I'm kind of glad that Detroit's doing really good right now.
And wasn't it like last year or 2 years ago where Cade missed like a significant amount of time because of injury?
And I think it was the second year. Yeah. It was the second year.
And I think that may have been around the time Jaden Ivey got drafted. And I think that's where like they just like pushed him in there because Cade wasn't there. But obviously like Cade is the number one.
Yeah. And with JB, he's a good coach, really good coach. And then what helped him too was the staff that he's developed under him. Like one of his great additions to that team this year, to me, in my opinion, was getting Jared Jack in there. Jack is a very good player development coach. He went to Georgia Tech out here. I've seen what he's done in the offseason with players when they come. Like, everybody come down here for freaking offseason.
He was with the Warriors. He was on the Warriors coaching staff for a while, right?
The Warriors, he was with, if it was either last year or the year before, he was with the Suns, too. I think it was last year. He was with the Suns. But, like, JB Bickerstaff does very good with, like, getting the right people in place. So, but with the Hornets, like I said, they just need some more little vets to come in, and you got y'all have the guy. You have Melo, Brandon Miller. I watched him play last year, and he is a dog. Like
he's a problem.
He is going to be a animal. Now, what y'all got to figure out is what's the situation with Mark? Is he your starter? Is he going to be the role play center? Is he a Mitchell Robinson or is he a Derek Lively? Like, what is his role going to be for that type of thing? Like type of team.
He got to stay on the court. First off, he got to stay on the court.
Yeah, he got to be healthy, but Mark is actually better on offense than he is on defense.
Yeah, I've been watching film on him, and I noticed that too. I was like, offensively, lob threat when he's healthy. He's got a little
post moves.
Got a little post moves, but defensively, I was like,
you getting cooked, man.
A little shaky.
Nah, when I remember you was sick when you said this man's getting cooked by fucking Valanciunas. It ain't no fucking rule. He was so sick, bro.
I saw him get cooked literally in a span of like 2 or 3 weeks. Vucevic, Valanciunas, AD, Gafford, and then what really set me over the edge, bro, was we got cooked by Bobby Porter's, bro.
And only one. And T listed one player that's like a perennial All NBA player.
I'm about to say Gafford gave him 30 and 15 or something like that.
Hey, chill out. That's nasty. That's nasty work, bro.
But no, T, I saw this was last year. I think it was last year. I think it was the last game of the season for the Hornets, or it was the last away game. They came here and they played the Hawks, right? And I had heard of Brandon Miller. I was like, let me just go see. I looked up and got courtside seats to go to that game.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, is he going to play? It's the last game of the year, whatever. So somebody, God, I ain't going to say who. Somebody said something to him. One of the players' parents said something to him.
Oh, shit.
And he took that, like, to another level. Like, the Hawks scored. He got the ball back. He's bringing the ball up. And you can look this clip up. He gets the ball. He's got it on the right wing. He drives to the basket. And he dunks on Bruno Fernandez. Like,
I remember that, yeah.
Caught back, dunked on him. And, like, where I'm sitting at on the court, literally across from me, is Boosie. And Boosie just gets up and, like, loses it. Like, Dave, I'll send you the clip. Like, it's.
I remember. I don't know if it was on your IG. So I remember like you being at that game. But yeah,
That's the game I knew that Brandon Miller. I was like, oh, he can get to the rim. Like I saw him shoot.
Yeah,
he could shoot. I didn't know how assertive he was. Like going downhill. Like he's not afraid to take some bump and go to the rim.
Games his handle. He got to tighten his handle a little bit. Once he does that, he'll be unguardable.
Yeah. So I found out what trainer he's with this summer. It'll help him get better. He's with this guy named Rob, like Coach Rob. He'll get his handle right.
It's funny you was talking about Brandon Miller getting down because it was when he was in college at Alabama. One of the things that they was talking about what he was developing over the year, especially when he got into SEC play, was him finishing around the basket, and stuff like that. So to hear you say that you was kind of seeing that development still ongoing to like his last game of his rookie season, that just lets me know how serious he's taking it and everything.
Yeah.
And we joked about, the situation that he was in and everything, but I took it to heart when you have a scout or an NBA GM saying that for him to go on the road with all that going on in his personal life and everything, and he went down and dropped damn near over 30 on who was it like?
He had 41 against South Carolina.
South Carolina. I was like, yeah, like that's when everybody was like, when we started seeing him move up in the mock, we was like, yeah, he damn near he might take Scoot joint because, like, regardless of how you feel, like the age and everything, I was like, you just know you're a different type of person when it's like you don't know what tomorrow's gonna look like, and you just go out there dialed in and just put on a show like that. I remember like, cause it was the summer league, because Wemby just got there, Brandon Miller got drafted, and we just seeing all these like hot takes and crazy like posts about what they was going through, and like Brandon Miller was sick. Wemby is just like exactly. He got mono, and Wemby's like he's going through the motion because he's at least trying to get used to the speed. Like he only played American basketball like the last summer when he was playing the G League in 19. Now he's playing like hungry dudes is looking for a job on the squad and everything. So when we was watching, so we was really dialed in watching Wemby and Brandon Miller last year, and the fact that they shut so many haters up because it was like I remember when y'all drafted him, it was so many boos and like that Charlotte arena. There was a he was like I was like, they're gonna regret booing him like that because they got them a dog and Brandon Miller.
Bro, speaking on summer league, like you brought it up, y'all gotta check it. I go to summer league every year, but it's a good time for you to really watch just people competing in basketball. Like it's obviously first round, second round picks, guys that are, either have a roster spot or fighting to make one, but like you really see like the competitive nature. Like it feels like the arena, like it feels like a time where it's like a high school. When you go to high school, like it's about to be competitive and fun.
More like intimate environment,
yeah, like an NCAA environment. Like that's always been my highlight of going. I mean, obviously Vegas is Vegas, but like that's a good time if y'all ever want to watch like some competitive basketball. And then the tickets are mad cheap. Like people don't realize that. Like you go to the Thomas and Mack Center and you pay $30 or $40, one of the two it was, and it's an all day ticket. So if you buy it at 9 a.m, like you get to watch every game that start from 12 at noon all the way to the last one at 10 o'clock start time. Like all day basketball. And you can leave and come back. So like,
you already know, Vegas gonna show up because it's like, hey, there's a particular game you don't want to play. Hey, come to this crap table real quick.
I'm about to say like one of them casinos is right there by the Thomas and Mack Center. It's not too far away from the Strip.
Oh, for sure, not. But then the other part people don't know too is like the main, because you'll see it on TV. The main arena in the Thomas and Mack has the big game that everybody watches, right?
Yeah.
Go down the tunnel and go like like high school have the auxiliary gym. Like Thomas and Mack has the aux gym right attached to the Thomas and Mack Center. So like you can watch one game, leave, come back, go watch other games. So you can ping pong back and forth. And then what's dope about it is that's the best time for, and I always tell kids too that are like who want to come watch. I'm like, that's the one time you get to interact with players because like they not being Hollywood driving out to go to their car. They walking in between. They with the civilians. They not out Hollywood. Like they just trying to mix and mingle. They know, kids are out here to watch them, support them and their team. So like that's the opportunity for you to go meet them. It's a good experience.
Q, I got a question for you, Q, since we got you here, Brian. Like in the chat, whatever, at the beginning of the year, we weren't high on Flag. We saw some holes in the game, but we seen a lot of improvement in this game. So how do you project Cooper Flag as a pro?
Ooh, that's tough because I'm high on Cooper Flag.
I know because
he had some holes, but now I see.
I give you credit, Q. Last time you was on here when you was like, "Hey, watch out for Cooper Flag." Me being biased, I was like, I ain't trying to hear this shit right now. But like, because me being a Wizards fan, I was like, "Hey, shit, man, we gotta gentrify the team like we do in the city, man. Fuck it, bro."
I've been high on Cooper Flag since like 2022 when I first heard about him. T, to answer your question, like he's got a motor, which is like it can't be measured. He's got a Paul George, Indiana type game to me.
And that's crazy at his size.
And he's got a Paul George type motor. He can score like how that's a good comparison. Indiana Paul George when he figured it out. Not the rookie year of Paul George, or the second year. Like year 3 when he played Bron in the playoffs. When he went into year 4, when people knew about him and he was still scoring, like that's what Cooper Flag reminds me of. Like he's got that Paul George type game where I can score all levels. My motor is going to keep me going, and I'm going to play defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even when Paul George went to OKC, he was playing defense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually, I never really thought about that. I always struggle when people ask me that, but that is that's, in my opinion, that's who I see.
You see a lot of these mocks, they like say Andre Karolinko plus, like, which is not a bad thing, but now as you break it down a little bit, and he's a little bit taller than Paul George too, so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Andre Karolinko because, to me, from what I remember,
Shit!
What happened?
My bad. Lopez got punched on.
Oh.
Damn.
No, with Karolinko, I didn't really think Karolinko was an offensive threat back then.
He just did a lot of things. He just did a lot of things on the court. Like, I mean, he was one of those guys that, yeah.
He was like a
lazy.
He was like a Boris.
Like a lazy comparison.
He was a Swiss Army knife type of guy.
And Flag can do a whole lot of things. I think it's a good comparison, but it's a lazy comparison because Flag can do a bit more than Karolinko. Yeah. So I mean, it's a good baseline because Flag, they're both tall, whatever, they can do a lot of different things. But I feel like Flag has a little bit more in his game than Karolinko does. So.
Oh, for sure.
Now that you mentioned that,
for sure he does.
Now you mentioned Paul George. That's interesting.
That is one that I see, like that Indiana, OKC first year that Paul. Yeah, I'm high on Cooper Flag. I'm really high on Dylan Harper.
I was going to say, how you feel about like Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, VJ Trey, like those? Because those to us seemed like they was going to be like the top 5 in the drafts. But like, how you feel? Like
Dylan is cold. Dylan is
because me personally, if we fall out of the first pick and we get like 2, like I'm cool with getting Dylan. Like Dylan, I've seen enough of his games at Rutgers, and between him and Ace, it's like I like Ace too, but it's like for fit, I feel like if we get Dylan, he's really can take our team to another level. Because we got Jordan and Bilal already there. You just and Bud, you think we just go Ace another wing? I could see that.
You know what I mean? Like they got guards already in play. But there's no who's your 4. You know what I mean? Like who's your 4? I don't even know who's your 3. Oh, Chris Middleton.
Mm-hmm. Well, for now, but yeah, we're working on like Keyshawn George. He's splitting between like 3 and 4, and SAR's splitting between 4 and 5. So I can see why you want to get somebody like an Ace, like that, another wing person, especially because Ace is already like 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah.
Allegedly, because you know how they be lying, how they be posting these heights, man. Okay.
I've seen him play in person multiple times. So he the real deal too. But
yeah,
my favorite one, probably Dylan Harper, like because I'm guard.
No, Dylan game so cold, like what's comp do you see from him? Like, I know you be trying to figure out these comps and everything, but like, what NBA player you see out of Dylan?
Dylan to me is Deron Williams.
There we go. I was thinking the same thing.
Deron
like
Williams.
That, like no homo, like big body guard. Like he might not be the fastest, might be like the most athletic, but he can get to the rack. He can finish around the rim. He knows how to set his pace. He knows how to pass the deck. That's exactly who I'd be like.
He's a Deron Williams, but he also has got a little bit of Brandon Jennings in him. He's also got a little bit of Monte Ellis when Monte would go to the basket.
Yeah.
When he would pump fake and drive, and like Monte was one of the first ones that I remember seeing going to the rim and switching a little bit with his hands, or
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Dylan Harper also has a little bit of Jalen Brunson with his 2-foot finishing ability too. So he'll drive to the basket, he'll get on 2 feet, he can finish, he can switch that pivot and then just attack you based off how you play that defense on him. But D Will for sure. Like Utah D Will.
Yeah.
All right, so I know Corey out here, but I know he probably ask you this, and I'm gonna ask you Cooper Flag. Let's say Hornets pick number 1 pick. Okay. How do you like that fit with him, LaMelo, and Brandon Miller?
And Miles Bridges, right?
Maybe.
Possibly.
I think that would be That would be. I mean, here's the thing: if y'all take him, you got to get rid of Miles because
Cooper Flag's a 4.
He's a 4. And what is Miles?
Miles right now is a 4.
Yeah, he's your small ball 4. Right? If you take him, good. That'll be good. It'll help ticket sales, obviously. But to be with the team, it would be a good fit. But also, like, it's gonna be the same thing. Like, you know how you are when y'all get rookie. The rookie's gonna score 14 to maybe 16 points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would be that beneficial for y'all right now.
See, I think from what we have currently, I think VJ Edgecombe would actually be ideal because he's a 2 guard.
Okay.
You can bump Brandon Miller to the 3, which I think is more of his natural position. And then you already have Miles at the 4. How do you like that fit?
That's a better fit. And then bump him to the 4. You still got Mark, right?
Yeah.
I like that fit better, honestly. I like that fit better. Then down the road, you got to figure out how you're gonna pay all these people. But that's a down the road thing.
That's a discussion for another day, man.
Yeah, that's a go talk to Sam Presti at OKC how he figured this out.
Yeah, because see the thing is, like, I feel like with LaMelo, he'll give Flag so many easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like you said, what are you gonna do with Miles Bridges then? Because they both play the same position, and Flag's gonna get the favor. They're gonna favor Flag. That's because, like you said, all the other factors that come with Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
But VJ Edgecombe has improved so much, especially with his shot making and playmaking ability.
Yeah.
The athleticism is off the charts. Like, the athleticism is crazy. So you add him, you can move Brandon Miller to more of his natural position at the 3. Miles is already there at the 4. And he's like 6'5", but with LaMelo at 6'8", you don't necessarily need another tall 2 guard. Like, so I think that's actually a great fit. If we don't get number 1, that's who I would take for Charlotte. But if we do get number 1, I mean, we're going to take Flag, so I guess they'll figure it out from there. But from a fit-wise, I think VJ actually is a better fit for what the current roster is.
For sure, yeah. Now that you said, I'm just picturing scenarios in my head, and it's like, well, if Cooper goes to the Hornets, what would that look like? What if Cooper went to the Wizards? How would that look like? I don't know the other bottom teams at the moment, but
there's a
unprotected. Unprotected. No, they never. They had it from a previous trade. I think it was from the Murray trade, and I think that joint's like unprotected because wherever they land, they getting that pick.
This is Tim Duncan and David Robinson all over again.
Hey man, who made that comparison? Somebody made that comparison, bro.
I think it was like T or somebody in the chat. Like
David Robinson got
hurt. Yeah.
Missed like half.
So like them, so like them extra losses is going to matter when it comes to the lottery when the ping pong stop popping up.
They got the first overall pick and got Tim Duncan. Yeah.
Like now we are in Doctor Strange opening up a new universe. So wait, now I'm putting that into my brain. So now we talking
the Spurs get the number 1 pick. Oh,
if that happened, you talking Fox?
Yep.
Castle,
Wemby, Cooper Flag. Don't sleep on this one. Keldon Johnson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His numbers went down this year because obviously Wemby went up, but Keldon Johnson used to average 20 points a game.
Like,
yeah. When it was nobody there, yeah.
You got Vassell, you got Jeremy Shohan.
You got one of the Champagne brothers.
Yeah, like that's 8. They got a roster now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and still got Chris. If Chris decides to stay, that's 9 people right there. Yeah, that's 10 people right there. Dog, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that as a scenario.
Yeah. We was talking a whole different, like, before the season. We was talking about like OKC can get the number 1 pick just off of like if the Clippers were messing up, but right now we don't even got to worry about like Clippers. Harden right the ship with that, so we ain't got to worry about that. But the Spurs angle, shoot, like you think of like a team like Utah, and they got like upcoming player like AJ next year. Like it's a lot of stuff that can go with this pick. Like, I'm really interested to see
Yeah,
what they're going to do with this lottery.
And since we're talking about the Spurs, I'm gonna bring this up because right now Bleacher Report on their mock, they got Spurs at 10 and 11, 10 taking Jace Richardson from Michigan State, and then at 11, Liam McNeely from UConn. Which I think that if the Spurs get either one of these guys.
Yeah,
These are potential glue guys or like rotation guys.
I see them doing what they did with when they had two. They're gonna trade one of those away.
Wait, did you say Jace Richardson?
Jace Richardson, yeah.
That's right. He is a freshman.
Yeah. Jason Richardson, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's a lefty. He can go. Like, he can hoop. Like, that kid can. Oh God!
I ain't watched Michigan State too much, but yeah,
nah. Unfortunately, I had to last night. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that shit.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna talk about.
Let me tell you how I got hip to him. I knew about him in high school and stuff, right? Yeah. But I thought he was gonna go to Michigan State, just kind of be a rotation player. But then, like, my friend started sending me this video that was like, Jace Richardson is starting this game. And his dad was in the stands, and he cooked that game. Like, was going crazy. And ever since then, I've been tuned in. I'm like watching him. There's this app called Synergy where you can break down film and stuff for players, and then you can get it for pretty much NCAA players, whoever. And I watched a lot of his stuff. He's I don't want to use this, but he's a lefty. Younger version of Ginobili.
Interesting.
Like, he can get to the rim, but he's got a jump shot too, like a lefty, like a Brandon Jennings. How Brandon Jennings was. He knows his spots. Like, Brandon Jennings used to come off the pick and roll, shoot the elbow, or shoot the little mid range. That's what Jace Richardson do. He ain't forcing nothing. He'll get to the rim like Ginobili. I saw him do the around the back like Ginobili did too. Like, the kid can go. But if the Spurs get him, that's a good development system for him to get better in.
Yeah. I will say that Spurs do know how to develop their players. So if they do decide to keep two young players, but I just think, Wemby's still kind of on his rookie contract, and we kind of see him ascending into like a top 10 player going to year three. Hopefully everything's good with his like blood clot situation and everything. He can come back. But we kind of see the ascension in Wemby, so they're going to be on that type of time where it's like you was talking about with the Hornets, you really don't need any more young players. You need like vets to surround him to kind of start making y'all into a playoff team.
Because in that same light, if you continuously add young players, sometimes they just get stashed away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Never develop. I don't know. I'm going to use the kid's name. I don't know what he's going to pan out to be. But he was the third pick in the draft, and he's sitting the bench on the Houston Rockets. Reed Shepard is just sitting the bench. He's not even in rotation.
Right.
But that Houston Rockets team went like 4 or 5 years of just getting top
draft picks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then end up getting, a couple older guys to come in. Got Uncle Jeff to come in. You got Fred VanVleet to come be the starting point guard. You moved Jalen Green over to his natural position as the 2.
Yeah.
And then Thompson, I knew he was gonna be good. I didn't do that. But you kind of figure out like who is what their role is in that sense, and then the team just kind of gels together. But see, you never know. Like, y'all may get somebody young, and then everybody else starts to realize like, I don't like. For example, Miles Bridges may have to be like, well, I don't need to score 20. I don't need to score 18. Let me go down to 14 or 16 and let Brandon Miller go up to 20. You know what I mean? Because better scorer than me. My role should just be I smoke the screen, I shoot it, or I come off a back door and you throw me a lob, I dunk it. Like, I get my shit in transition type thing. It all depends on who buys in and what they bring in as far as vets.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're coming up over an hour 30. Any last questions for Q before we wrap things up? I mean, we've been having a great discussion today. As always, we appreciate you coming on the show and giving us some insight with training, what you think about hoops overall in the league and everything. So, again, we appreciate you coming on, dog.
No problem, bro.
All right, shoot, man. Dave, what we tell these folks, man?
Hey, man, you already know what it is. Subscribe to the pod, like, share, and subscribe. If you know you're watching this episode on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button. If you watch on any of the platforms that we're on, because you know we're everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. Make sure you hit the follow button, the like button, anything that applies. Yeah, follow us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram. You know we're gonna be back in the arenas eventually. More to come on that.
Yes,
Stay
sir.
tuned for more content. As always, you know we're gonna be putting out episodes, and you never know when we're gonna have a rant corner or some random stuff that we're gonna do. So make sure you stay tuned in on that. But yeah, man, this has been great. Q, I appreciate you joining. I hope that we can keep bringing you on and not have to charge us a fee for us to have you on here. But
Nah,
yeah,
y'all good. Y'all sit on
because you know you big. You know you're getting big time, man. I you know I see it. You getting big time, man. Not personality wise, but you know.
No, I got you.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's your time right now, dog.
Appreciate it. I
It's your
appreciate
time. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, shoot, appreciate that day. And, you know, before we get off, man, first, you know, just gotta show off this hoodie for the Black History Month. It's been a rough Black History Month for a lot of us, man.
Boy.
If you know, it's been kind of rough for us, but you know, we still hanging, we still here, we still bonding together. But goddamn, I'm ready for this month to be over because it's been one of the roughest Black History Months I've been a part of. Oh man, but you know. Y'all see it, man. Y'all already know what time it is, bro. We gonna come back strong in March, man. I promise you that. We gonna come back strong in March.
Yeah. Dirty soda in the styrofoam. You already know what it is.
Hey.
You already know what it is. Dirty soda in the styrofoam. Spend a day, get my mind blown. You already know what the rest is. Yeah. It's coming.
Hey man, we don't call him a doctor for nothing, man. He be coming with the bars. He be coming with them surgical bars, man. Yeah. But listen, man, I got my boy D, Dr. Esquire Day. I got my boy BT, my boy T in Charlotte, and again our special guest Q. We appreciate you. Assassins 4. This Dre from PG. We out.